Welcome. Today I am going to be creating a bronze eye look and then finishing it off with a statement necklace that I create with my necklaces. So please keep watching. So I am excited for today's look because I absolutely love the bronze tones. And I have gotten a lot of use out of this eyeshadow palette. It's the You Can Be Luxury Gathering, and they have got some amazing colors. And I got this off of Amazon, and I don't even remember how much it was. I know it was under $20. So I can create a lot of looks from this palette, and I am going to show you some different ones. But today we're going to go with the bronze. So I am starting off with the eye primer. And what I like to do is then take a color that's very close to my shade, maybe a little bit brighter, just to give it a nice even wash. Okay. Now, the tips that I use for a more mature eye is making sure that we follow the angles. So what you want to do is take your nose to the corner of your eye and then on up. So you're kind of hitting the very tail of your eyebrow. When you're grooming your eyebrow, you want to also follow that line. So you don't want any hairs underneath here. And that will help keep a very lifted look. So what you start off with, you're going to have at least 3 shades. You can add more shades, and I'll show you how to do that. But to start, just to keep it simple, I'm going to start off with the transition shade. And what I'm going to use is a combination of these two here. Okay, and that'll kind of start warming things up and start giving that effect that I'm going to be leaning towards with the bronze and kind of the reddish brown shades. So I start in the crease area, and what you want to do is you can feel your brow bone. And you want to go right along there. And if you start having hooding, which we all do, you even want to kind of go slightly above that so that when your eye goes straight, you're actually creating the shadow right along there. And you just go back and forth and really blend it out. So that when you have your eye closed and you look straight, you can see that it's there. Now, if you're really hooded and you're going into that, that socket area, and you're not going up a little bit higher, you might kind of, your skin might fold right over the eyeshadow that you're creating. So you really want to do that just slightly higher. And this is going to be our medium shade. So you're going to use a light, medium, and a darker shade. Okay. And then the next shade I'm going to use to go with the bronze is this one right here. And this is bright. Now you always want to kind of keep your eyelid brighter. And so you want to use colors that that keep that area more open. And so I just use my finger and then just start pressing it in there into the corner. And even if you get it right on the right there, that's fine too, because that's another place where I add it. I do kind of touch that up at the end in case it's kind of wiped off. I am going to add another lid shade, and this one is going to be a little bit more reddish color. I'm going to use that one right there. And so it's slightly darker than the initial shade. And it's very easy to then just blend it in with the other one. And that's adding more of a gradient effect. Now we're going to go in with the darker shade. And this is going to be where you create your drama as well as your definition of the eye. So I'm going to go in with a combination of these two colors. These two. I'm sorry. This and this right here. And I do blend my colors quite a bit. Now, again, I'm following along this line. Now, if I go below that, I'm going to clean it up when I do my concealer, so it's no big deal. But we kind of want to keep it just right here. And then you start adding the color along the lash line and then just slightly up into that crease. And see how I'm kind of creating a little bit of a V shape? There. Now I go ahead and take the transition brush and then just blend it in with the transition shade and really get it nice and blended. All right. Now we're going to go on to the easiest cat eye. So I'm going to go in, and this has a black at the very bottom. So I'm going to just tap into that real, and you kind of want to dust off as much as you can. With this eyeshadow, I have not had any fallout. These are amazing eyeshadows. And like I say, I don't spend a lot on my eyeshadows. But to create the cat eye, I am going to go into this corner right here and then start heading up towards the middle of my eye. And get very, very close to the eyelash line. And even go into your eyelash line. That's where the tight lining is. It's a great thing to learn because you're defining the eye, but you're not using up any of your eyelid area. And then again, I'm going to use that angle. So like that. And then just go sweep it up just very gently. And you can make this as defined or as light as you want. You could just give it a hint of that effect for more of a day look, or you can add more. But what I love about the eyeshadow is it is just so... You're not tugging at all. I mean, you can use an eyeliner if you're used to that, but this one just goes on so smoothly. Another thing you can do for a little bit more definition is wet your eyeshadow, and it'll be a little bit more defined then. And then I just kind of go in a little bit and blend it in with that crease shade. And I'm going to go ahead and take the bullet brush again that I put in the crease shade and then just kind of blend that in. And so it's just this real gradual look. Now, if you want to add a little bit more definition, and I'll do this as well, and this is a little extra, this is definitely optional, you don't have to do this, is I will take a eyeliner, a liquid liner, and this has a really nice fine point. This is a brown. You can use, you know, basically whatever color you want, but And then I follow that line and almost create, it's very subtle, but almost create like that last lash line. And then I'm going to be following this up with my my false eyelashes. And so what I then do is get as close and line the inner all the way up to the top to meet up with the other. So we've got this very soft blurred effect on this side, and then this is just barely lining the inner corner as well. And now I'm going to move on to my eyebrows, and I use the same brush that I used for the eyeliner and just fill in any gaps. Now, again, here, I'm good here on the most part. I kind of tap in here and there. It's right along the back end where things really start fizzling out for me. So here I will then just kind of blend it down. And then I'll take a spoolie and then just kind of blend it and then push my eyebrows up. Now I'm going to go and put on my eyelashes as well as do the other side of my face. Now I am going to be doing a tutorial on how to not only just do your eyelashes with mascara and curling your eyelashes, but also how I apply my false lashes, because I put them underneath my lash line. And I do want to show you guys that. It's a little bit kind of complicated, so that's why I don't do it for all of my videos. But in case you're interested in that, I will be doing a video with showing you how I do that as well. So I will be right back. All right, I'm back. So now we're going to move on to the under eyes. And now for the under eyes. So the product that I use is not only a concealer, but it also highlights my under eyes a bit. So I'm going to show you the technique that I like to use. And what you want to do is focus. So I'm focusing it right in that corner. Again, following that line, everything underneath. And right in that corner where there's that shadow. And then just down right there. And then so you see it there. And then I do it right along the tear trough line, right there, basically on it. The areas that I'm going to avoid adding product to, see when I smile and you see all of those wrinkles, how it really wrinkles up there? Avoid that. Now, as you're blending it, you know, you'll be blending it and getting it in there as well, but it's a lot less product, because that's where you're going to avoid a lot of settling into creases and things like that. Another thing that I avoid doing is going right underneath your eye. You want to stay kind of away from that, because it's adding that brightness all the way up to your eye, and then it closes up your eye and it doesn't look good. So I just focus on that. And again, less is more. And so again, I'm going right along that line, that trough line. And you can even get up into that corner there. So now I go ahead and just kind of start blending it. And at this point, it's pushing it in, blending it in, but then also removing product. Now I'm going to take my finger and just start pressing it in as well and blending. And your fingers are the best tools, because it really just melts that it really just melts the concealer right into your skin. And like I say, I'm just kind of pressing it in, and then I even wipe off so that we're basically trying to just get rid of as much excess as possible. And since this is very pigmented, you don't need to use more to cover up. You want to focus on getting more of a smooth effect, but not perfect. Because if you're going in to try to cover up every little thing, you're going to apply way too much product. And unfortunately, we want to use as little on this area as possible. Now I'm going to go ahead and move on to my foundation, and this gives my concealer a little bit of time to kind of settle into any fine lines, and then I will go ahead and pat that again to remove any of that. But let's move on to the foundation. I basically use the same principle for my foundation as I do the concealer, where less is more. So what I like to do is take this and just spread a thin layer of foundation. And then I take a foundation brush and then pat it evenly, trying to get it evenly distributed. So that is the purpose, is just to try to get it as thin and as even as possible. And then I go, and the first places I tackle are where I want the foundation the most. So I'm going to be, you know, on my forehead in the center, along here, along my chin, and then just blending. But the foundation brush is really just getting the product on your skin and then gently blending it throughout. So now I just then followed this up with a damp blending brush. And like I said, you don't want layers of product underneath your eyes. So I did not put my foundation underneath my eyes. I just went up to the concealer, and then you just blend it together. And this just kind of helps meld the makeup right into your face, removing any extra product. And it's surprising how, again, less is more. You don't need all that makeup sitting on your skin. What you're wanting to do is just kind of even things out and give it a nice smooth look. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and go back in with my finger and just pat out any excess, if anything started settling. And then I follow that up with a setting powder. And so I kind of just press in the powder. You do a lot of pressing, and then sweeping it away. All right. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and then just do a nice light dusting. And I do have oily skin, so I do use powder, but you can definitely skip this. Now we're going to move on to contour. And again, we're wanting to follow these angles. So we've got the angle here. We're going to follow it also with our cheekbone. And so where I like to start is right where my ear attaches. And then you can also see that line right there, the cheekbone. So you want to go like right under there. And you want to start from here down. You want the most product here and then blending it down. Because if you start right away in the center, you could get too much, and you're having to remove it. But you kind of have the intensity there, and then you just drag it down a bit. And then I just kind of start blending it more. And then I do go up into my hairline around my forehead, just to give it a nice healthy glow. And then you also want to define your jawline. And so where you're wanting to put it is on the underneath part, not on this part. So you just kind of go and just sweep it along there like that. And this just helps create that shadow, which makes you have a little bit sharper of a jawline, which we all want. And now I am going in with the blush. All right, so now for the blush, I am going to just dab it a little bit above the contour, like right there. It kind of just is an extension of the contour, a little bit higher up right there. And you definitely want to tap off any excess because, you know, we don't want too much. And by just dabbing, you can really blend it nicely. And then you just build up however much you want. Now what I like to do is add a little bit on my forehead, down my nose, and on my chin. And that way just, you know, goes throughout your whole face and not just on your cheeks. Okay. And then for the highlighter, so we've got the contour, we've got the blush, and now we've got the highlighter. And again, I use my eye as what to focus on as far as everything from my eye this way. I don't really want to carry it too far in. So right along here is where I place my highlighter. And then I might go over that and down my nose. So now for the cleanup, because I always manage to get carried away. So here I just take my foundation brush and go over the edges. And if I got too low, kind of go over that. If I got too close, you know, too inward, kind of go over that. And then I follow it up again with a little bit of powder just to help everything blend and soften nicely. And if you feel like you took off a little bit too much, go back in with your blush and just tap in a little bit there. And there you go. So now let's go back to the eyes and the eyeliner on the bottom. So what I like to do is take this, the crease shade, the darker crease shade here, just this one, and then kind of tap it in the corner here and go maybe not 2/3, 1/3 of the way. So just right there. And this is, again, optional. If you're wanting to just leave your under eyes alone, that's fine. And then I just take a blending brush and kind of make sure that the edges are nice and blended and no harsh lines. And then I use an eyeliner that's also a bronze color. And I use this all the time. I love this color because it's light underneath, so I can line my eyes, but it doesn't close it up like, say, a real dark color would. So this, I focus a little bit more on the waterline and along the under eye. Okay. Now I'm going to use eyebrow gel just to set my eyebrows in place. Okay, and so some final touches for the eyes if you want to add a touch of sparkle on the upper eye part. Because we added that clean base in the first place, it kept this area light, so you can leave it alone. But if you do want to add a little bit of highlight right under the brow bone, you go ahead and place that right there. And that's it. You don't need any more than that. And then tap it in the center like I did initially, but I could use a little bit more. Then just right there at the highest point of your eyebrow, right underneath that. And that way it just catches the light right there. There we go. Now on for the lips. I am going to use a lip liner and start lining to about there, and then I go in, kind of creating some lip lines. To about there, and then in, bypassing my downturn. And then I just fill in a little bit here. And this has a little bit of sparkle in it, so I don't have to add a gloss or a topper. So now that I've got the bronze eye, I want to show you how I want to complete this look by creating a statement necklace with the necklaces that I have. These are all necklaces that I can wear individually, but I really do enjoy stacking them and creating a completely different look. So let me show you how I do it. So the pearls are nice, but I'm going to keep going. You can also use, I've got this necklace and I've got a matching bracelet, and you can actually combine them to make them longer. There we go. So this is a great way to use the necklaces that you already have. And some of these necklaces, like I may not wear them that much on their own, but when I stack them, I really do like the effect. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and please give me a thumbs up, please subscribe, and if you have any questions, please leave those in the comments below. I hope you have a great day.